I was a very successful tarot card reader about 2 years ago. And then God delivered me from that, and I just disappeared off the face of the earth. So I want to come back and share my story, my testimony. I have not talked about this with anybody besides my husband. Everything happens at an appointed time, and I am being led to share my story with somebody, allow it to minister to them so it can help bring them out of bondage. Before I get into tarot cards, I will start from the beginning on my journey with God. Around 2013, I had moved back home from where I was going to school at after I finished my first degree. When I moved back home, I met this guy. We dated for several years, and while we were together, it had become very toxic. I'm not gonna lie. I was 25, I was in the prime of my life. I could have been with anybody I wanted to be with, but I thought I was in love with this guy. So he was living with me. We were basically playing house, and things were terrible. My life was terrible. I was sad, I was depressed, but I thought I was in love. So I stayed in that relationship for a very long time, probably about 5 years, on and off, on and off. And I just want to share with somebody that might be in a similar situation where you want to get out, but you feel trapped. During that time, my finances were terrible, and I'm a nurse. So I was a young nurse. Like I said, I was at the prime of my life. I was making good money, but for the simple fact that I was living outside of the will of God, I was not getting blessed. My finances was terrible. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, but I was also living in fornication. I was shacking up. I couldn't get a breakthrough. I did that for years until I finally got the strength to get myself out of that situation. And I just want to tell you, out of my obedience, what God did for me. When I finally broke up with him, God blessed me with my first home, which I'm living in now. Hey, to God be the glory. But I've been living in this home since 2017. But before that, I was getting kicked out of apartments because he was crazy. He was kicking my door in. It was just insane. I could have lost my life in that relationship. I remember it was times that he would be out of his mind on drugs, and I might do something or say something to make him mad, because I'm mad. And I ain't got enough sense not to fight with a intoxicated person. But I'm mad and he mad, and then we get into it. And it's times where I thought I was finna, you know what I'm saying? Praying that my daughter in the next room don't wake up to her mama being okay. So I just want to tell you, I had to realize the hard way that as long as I stayed in that situation, God was not going to bless me. And God was not going to bless me because I was with somebody that was outside of the destiny that he had for me. So if you are having a hard time in your life and you can't understand why you can't get ahead, and you can't understand why you can't get on track, it's because of the way that you are living your life. And once you become obedient, God will be ready and willing to bless you. But right now, you are outside of his blessings because you are outside of his will. You are outside of your destiny. If you're in a toxic relationship, friendship, anything that is not good for you, and you tired of seeing everybody around you winning, you tired of seeing everybody around you getting ahead, but you still staying in the same spot, you have got to make a change in your life. And when I let that relationship go, my life got so much better. But as long as I was there, I was never going to get the money. I was never going to get the house. I was never going to get the stability. I was never going to get the peace of mind. I had to get out of that situation in order to receive what it is that God had for me. So please stop delaying what God has for you by being disobedient. Okay? He wants what's best for you. And he is not going to bless you as long as you are tied to people who do not deserve a part of your blessing. He is not going to bless you as long as you are surrounded by people that he didn't intend for you to have in your life in the first place. A lot of times we go through things and we say, God, why me? Why me? God didn't do this. You made that decision. God didn't put that toxic man in your life. You chose him. God didn't put that toxic woman in your life. You chose her. And at some point in time, you have to be real with yourself. And you have to ask yourself, because God wants what's better for you, but do you want what's best for you?